For years, he warned about his plans to invade. We just hoped it would never happen. President Vladimir Putin is hell-bent on restoring Russia to its former glory. And now, with Ukraine under attack, the next 24 hours will be crucial.
We may have to make extraordinary sacrifices to defend what we've got, because if we lose it, we will never get it back.
Rocket attacks, air attacks, artillery barrages. The assault is right at the heart of Ukraine.
The warnings were true. Armed combat has returned to Europe. An autocrat with a nuclear arsenal has called in the tanks. Vladimir Putin's military is marching west to the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv as part of a vision for expanded Russian power that Putin has made clear over the years, even if we hoped he'd never act.
Hello, Senator.
Seb, how are you?
Senator Jim Molan spent 40 years in the Australian Army. His experience includes leading coalition forces in Iraq in 2004.
I think President Putin has been planning this for a long time, but he would not have been planning the detail of it for a long time. And quite possibly the final tactical details of what gets majority of support, what we do in this particular location, may have only been a few days old.
Senator Molan says the next 24 hours will be crucial.
The Russian military is a very, very competent military with extraordinary traditions, and you've got what I think will be successful against the Ukraine, but for how long Ukrainians can fight and oppose the Russian army will be the key to that. What is the price that Putin must pay for rolling over the top of these Ukrainian units?
Professor Marko Pavlyushyn has barely slept since the rockets began.
To be honest, it was a nightmare of a day.
An expert in Ukrainian studies at Monash University, Melbourne-based Professor Pavlyushyn has family in Kyiv. Our interview interrupted as the phone rang with the latest news.
Just as we were sitting here, my wife took a phone call from Kyiv, and she spoke with a relative who was reporting bombing of administrative buildings near his part of Kyiv, shattering windows in residential buildings.
Will Ukrainians continue to resist?
I'm confident, as I'm confident of anything at all, that yes, there will be a serious fight.
Putin hasn't hidden his ambitions regarding Ukraine. In a lengthy essay published in July 2021, he gave an insight into his plans. Russians and Ukrainians were one people, he wrote, claiming Ukraine leaders peddle Russophobia. I am confident that true sovereignty of Ukraine is possible only in partnership with Russia, the essay read, finishing with an ominous message for Ukraine people. Russia has never been and will never be anti-Ukraine, and what Ukraine will be, it is up to its citizens to decide.
We woke up at 5 a.m. because of explosions. We didn't understand what's that, but when it repeated, we realized that here it comes.
Anna Andrusik is one such Ukrainian citizen living in Kyiv with her 2 children. She says her countrymen and women won't give in.
If we run right now, it means that there will be more death than that can happen right now.
Putin's plan didn't happen overnight. In April last year, Russian troops took part in a 3-week military exercise in Crimea, alarming Western powers. In December, a US military source told the Washington Post that Russian plans called for a military offensive against Ukraine as soon as early 2022. And then last month, further Russian drills were staged involving fighter jets and bombers, with experts estimating that more than 100,000 troops were already on the Ukraine border at that point in time. Senator Molan questions whether Putin intends to take over Ukraine completely.
I don't think he's planning to occupy that nation. He's planning those attacks to set him up for a situation where he can decapitate the leadership of the Ukraine and then install his own leaders.
What have you made of the West's reaction thus far?
Not much, I must admit.
Molan argues Russia has snookered Western powers by strategically exploiting their lack of self-reliance when it comes to energy. Germany, for example, has recently moved away from nuclear power, making them very reliant on Russian gas, which factors into their ability to take Putin on.
Europe has said to itself, well, we want to be fat, dumb and happy. We're rich and prosperous and secure, so we can afford to get rid of our nuclear power. So we'll suck in a bit of power from France, but we'll suck in a bunch of gas from where? From Russia. So it's not just the preparation of military forces, which have generally failed, but also the self-reliance and resilience of the individual countries, Seb, within NATO. And therein lies the problem.
What should action like this make us realise about the reality of the world out there?
Hey, the world is still a bad place out there. And what you've got to be is you've got to be strong and you've got to be ready.
Yeah, for the people of Ukraine, though, that could be easier said than done.